Welcome back to the OwnersBox YouTube channel. Today, a full Super Wildcard Weekend preview starting with the AFC. Tyler McKillop, Sandy Plashkus, Avery Chenier. Boys, I'm not going to waste any time. We're going to cover the betting lines. We're going to have our plays, have our picks for all three of these games, starting with the Raiders and the Bengals. Bengals line open at 6. I do believe, you guys can correct me, it might have been at 6.5 at one point. It's down to 5.5. Over-under sitting at about 49.5. Fellas, I'm going to throw this at you, and then you can give me your thoughts, and then I'll get some more numbers your way. Joe Burrow, in the last 4 games of the regular season, 1,446 passing yards, 11 touchdowns, no interceptions. Is this the hottest team in the NFL coming into the playoffs?
It has to be, obviously. But I am thinking I need to galaxy brain and just fade this Bengals team at this point. They have been a disaster in the playoffs for years. Joe Burrow seems like a guy who can kind of break that curse. He's not Carson Palmer, right? We think he's probably better than Carson Palmer at this point. So I think they're going to be fine here. But Joe Burrow's awesome. The team is very, very dynamic. Awesome offense to watch. But it's playoff football. It's a whole different game.
Yeah, for me, the line did open at 6.5. I saw some people actually snag it at 7. I think with some juice on that, like 120. I would have absolutely obliterated +7 if I saw that. Like I like the Raiders at 6. I like the Raiders at 5.5. I know it's at 5.5 right now in a lot of places, but this Raiders team, man, it's one of those things we talked about on, our Monday long form episode. It's, these hot teams coming to the playoffs. Like they're gritty. Like they're not handed anything. And I think, the Bengals with Joe Burrow, they have a great chance to win this game, but I really just don't see it overall going, more than a 7-point victory for the Bengals. And I think this Raiders team will keep it close. They got Darren Waller back too, which is huge. I know he didn't do much in that last game, but you can bet on him having more of an impact in this matchup here. And I definitely think, big first playoff game for this Bengals team, right? And you never know what to expect. So I definitely lean toward the Raiders in this one. But I definitely think it's gonna be a fantastic football game overall.
Yeah, Waller, I think, with another week, he's really important for them in the red zone too. These teams played earlier this season, and the Bengals took care of business at Allegiant Stadium. But it was on the backs of the Raiders really not converting well in the red zone without Waller. Waller last year I believe he was 3rd in the NFL in red zone targets. So he's a big, big factor if he can be even like 80% in this game. Let me throw one more thing at you guys, and you let me know. I mean, the biggest thing with the Bengals offensively is the fact that they, don't have great pass protection. Burrow's been pressured on 33% of his dropbacks this season. Max Crosby and Ngakoue, they were a big factor in the reason this team is in the playoffs, especially in that game against the Chargers. So I think if we're looking for a way for this Raiders team to find success defensively, it's going to need to be getting pressure with 4.
Totally agree on that. It was the big thing in the offseason, right? When they drafted Jamar Chase, everyone's like, how are they going to get the ball to him when Joe Burrow's on his ass? They've been fine, right? But Max Crosby's been very, very good. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. Running game, I don't think is going to be a huge issue for them here still, but it'll be interesting to see. I like the Raiders to win this football game. And I was talking about Carson Palmer. I might have been meeting Andy Dalton, by the way. So that was on me. But all those quarterbacks stink. Joe Burrow's a bit better still.
Carson Palmer's been there, right? He was with the Bengals for at least a little bit.
Yeah.
Did a little bit with Arizona too. I think we got to give
Yes.
Joe a little more time than we compared to Carson, but hey, he's on the trajectory. That's for sure.
Yeah, no disrespect to Cincinnati's offense. It's been great. Even their defense. This is an insane stat I had for writing the article on this game. Trey Hendrickson has turned the Bengals defense. They had 17 team sacks last year. He has 14 this year, and the team is 42. They went from 17 sacks to 42. They're picking things up defensively, which is a thing people are forgetting about. But I really like the Raiders. I think with Gus Bradley, they don't like to blitz. They blitz at the lowest rate in the NFL. And I think that's a good way, for them to get some pressure is with 4, being able to drop those guys back in the secondary defensively. So I'm on the Raiders too. I've already bet them. I bet them early. I feel good about it because at 5.5, we get closer to 4, then I start to worry about if I have the right value, the right number. Anything else you guys like total wise or props?
Well, I was going to ask you, T-Mac, where you're at in the total. Early look ahead lines, like I was on Raiders +6 immediately when it came out. Like that was one of those things. I think the only game I placed that early, I still am kind of looking at the board right now for the other games, but total wise, are you like leaning anywhere? Are you kind of just like seeing where it moves and, going to make your decision later?
Yeah, I don't even think I'll bet it, but I do think the total, I probably would lean the under because I like the Raiders and their success is going to come from getting in the backfield. So if they're doing that, I think they're going to be able to limit the Bengals.
I was just about to say that. If you think the Raiders are going to win, I think your side lean needs to be on the under.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's move to what do you guys is Bills Patriots the game of the weekend?
On paper, yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think so too. I like Rams Cardinals too this week. I'm looking forward to that, but I would say this is one of those two games would be. But yeah, I mean, this game is crazy. A divisional matchup. I mean, this is the third time they're going to play this season, right? And it's obviously way more, playoff implications, all that stuff coming into this game right now. So I'm really looking forward to this one for sure.
Yeah, they're getting 8:15 on Saturday night. The Bills 4-point favorites. You keep in mind, I think that the reason for this is because of how bad the weather was the last time they were in Buffalo, but this is the biggest spread they've had between these two teams this season. The Bills are 4-point favorites. The total is 43. I'm like looking at the weather. It's going to be cold for Sandy, us being Avery Canadians. So we only talk in Celsius, but I went to work for you. Sandy. 5 degrees Fahrenheit.
5.
In this game. Yes, sir.
Good. That's
gonna be chilly.
It's under or nothing in that weather for me, but I get
winds are under 10 miles an hour. So I think that the Bills will be throwing the ball plenty. They picked apart the Patriots the last time they played. Josh Allen was really, really good, over 300 yards passing. The Patriots, like a lot of defenses that are going up against the Bills or going up against the Chiefs, who are really pass heavy, have played a lot of cover 2 and the high shell. And both the Chiefs, this is the same for the Chiefs too, but the explosive plays aren't there as often. But Josh Allen's been willing to check the ball down a lot more lately, and that's how they took down the Patriots. So what do you guys think? I think both in this scenario, the Bills are going to throw the ball, and I think they're going to do it how they want to. And the Patriots, in the 2 games they played against the Bills, they ran the ball 75 times for 5 yards a carry. I mean, the Bills know the run's going to be coming, and I think the Patriots are still going to be able to get it done. So why is this total so low?
I'm confused by this game in my brain because everything that you said kind of makes me want to take the Bills. The Bills have kind of run the ball well the past couple of weeks as well. Like Devin Singletary's actually been very good. But what does that mean for us here? And I don't fucking know. Like, to be honest, everything's saying I like the Bills, but I think it's their time to go. Like, I think they're going to beat the Patriots here, but I don't even know lean. It has to be the Bills for me.
Yeah, like for me, this is kind of like Avery. I don't not know, but I'm not as confident. Like that Raiders pick, I'm pretty confident. This one, I'm kind of just seeing like this is one of those I'm going to wait towards the end of the week a bit more. I know this is a Saturday game, so I'll have some time there, but I do like the Bills on paper right now. Like it's easy to say the Bills. My one thing holding me up is Bill Belichick, and he's going to have those guys ready to go. It's the third time they've played. He's played in the cold, like a lot of film. That guy's going to have a script drawn up. Like that's where I get a little bit worried about the number there. But that said, on paper right now, I lean Bills -4.
So I want to get more football guy in this because if you go to blog.OwnersBox.com, I have a full article on the game. So I mentioned that the checkdowns. So in that last matchup, Josh Allen was 18-23 for 185 and a touchdown on passes of 0 to 9 yards. So in that intermediate short route type area, and in those checkdowns. So what do you think Bill needs to do here? Is it really just more mixing up the coverages and mixing up, be it in the 2 high, be it cover 1, cover 3, man, all that kind of stuff? Is that the way that we're going to, maybe they run into a check down that turns into a pick 6 type deal? Like what is the formula and what does Bill need to do to change things up? Because again, it didn't work well last time they met in New England.
The 2 high gave Josh Allen fits in the middle of this season. Like when the Jags did it to them and they won that game, that was what kind of derailed a bunch of offenses this season, the 2 high.
Yes.
So I think just staying in that, like it's worked all season. It's made them not look like a good offense multiple times. I think that's just where you need to stay most likely.
Well, yeah, I agree. And for the 2 high, like what do you do when you're running 2 high? Like you're protecting the deep, like you're running cover 4, cover 2, keeping the safeties deep. Yeah. Like that's the biggest thing is like, what does that tell you? So defense coordinator is doing that. What does that tell you? They don't want you to beat you deep. The Patriots want to keep this game close. I agree. I think the 2 high, you stop the deep ball, you stop longer distance plays. And over the time, like Bill's going to be confident in his defense to make a play, make them run more offensive plays, make them check it down, make them run the ball. I think that will obviously open up, the 0 to 10 yard passes, as you mentioned, T-Mac, but if you keep those safeties deep, you keep those corners, making sure they're in their route right there, you can't get beat deep. So I think they're going to be doing a lot of that this week. And if they're doing that, that game's going to be really close. So that's why I'm a little worried. I think Bill's very in the lab on this game and he knows what to do. It's going to be the third time they've played. He's not going to be out to lunch at all.
Yeah, I think I confused you guys a bit because that's like they played a lot of too high last time, and the Bills killed them. Like they killed them in that short intermediate route. So I think it needs to be like a mix up of looks as opposed to playing too much, too high, and keeping things really, really simple, because they kind of picked them apart last time.
Yeah, if it works, it works. So like you know how you're going to get beat when you play too high, right? It's obviously that short intermediate route. Yeah. So you deal with it when that's what you're going to play. You want Diggs over the top all the time too. That kills your team if that's how you're getting points. If you're missing tackles and stuff like that, that's things you can fix, or you think you can fix at least. Like you just need to make better plays. So I think that's why they go back to that.
I mean, I think, they did run a lot of too high, T-Mac, to your point, but I think it's more of mixing up looks, blitzes, still running, like still showing too high, rolling the safety down, running cover 3, like stuff like that, which, Bill will be drawing up. I think that's more what it is, like showing what they did in the last game, but obviously disguising blitzes and coverages is going to be key. I think that's where you get Josh Allen kind of in a route there.
Okay, before we get to the last game of the weekend, we'll let me know what you guys are on. I'll start. I'm on over 43. I just really think that both of these defenses, they know what the opposing offense is going to do. The Patriots are going to run it. The Bills are going to throw it. And I still think they're not going to have an answer, because the Bills had stopped every team in the NFL against the run other than the Patriots twice and the Colts. And I mean, they had the Patriots twice. They had that the bad weather game. They still averaged the Patriots 4.7 yards a carry. So I don't think they're going to be throwing the ball much, because the Bills defense, number 1 in interception rate, number 1 against the pass. I think the Patriots will be able to score. I think the Bills will be able to score. And if I can find a prop, they're not out yet. We're getting this out early, but I would love to see what Ramondre Stevenson's rushing yards are at. So I'd like to hit that over too. What do you guys think?
I'm the worst total better of all time, so I just ride whatever you take. It doesn't matter to me.
Sandy?
For me, I'm staying away from the total in this one. I like the Bills -4, as I said, like it's Tuesday right now. So there's going to be line movement on this game for sure, I bet. But right now, as it sits, Bills -4. I wouldn't say I'm as confident as I was on the Raiders pick I just gave out, but I throw a unit on the Bills -4 pretty comfortably here.
All right. Last, we were saving the worst for last here, because the Pittsburgh Steelers are in the playoffs. We traded one of Justin Herbert or Jonathan Taylor for Big Ben. The Steelers are 12.5-point dogs on the road in Kansas City. Over-under is 46. Honestly, I don't see this line moving anywhere but up, because the Chiefs were up 24-0 at halftime in the previous meeting in Kansas City. Their one time they met this year, and the game ended 36-10. And the Steelers, to me, I don't see a formula. Is there a formula?
I mean, for me, this is Big Ben's farewell game hosted in Kansas City. Like that's just his farewell party. He's not going to win the game, but if we're talking betting specifically, that line's at 12.5. It opened at, I'm not sure if it's still there. I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah.
But if you're going to bet the Chiefs, you got to bet them now, because it's not going to go down from 12. I don't think so. Like there's no way, if you're on Kansas City, if you're saying, hey, I'm taking Patrick Mahomes this weekend, you take it now. You don't wait. You take it now. So I think, Steelers fans, Steelers bettors out there, I'd wait a bit if you're going to take the Steelers. But in this game, it's one of those things where, Patrick Mahomes isn't great covering double-digit spreads. We've seen it last week, even Denver. I took Kansas City. There's just
Chiefs just aren't good covering spreads.
There's just not. Yeah, I'm just saying, like their spreads in double-digit spreads. I don't know the number off the top of my head, but it's not good. So take that with a grain of salt if you're leaning Kansas City. Again, I'm undecided in this game, but I lean Kansas City. I just don't believe, I've watched too much Big Ben this year. I just can't see him going into Kansas City and losing by less than 10 points. I know it's 12, but I see a double-digit win for Kansas City in this. But again, don't love the line there.
Yeah. I'm going to give you guys, again,
I love the Steelers. Sorry. I'm sorry to say I love this. Yeah. I love the Steelers a lot. Okay.
So I think I always seem to have this similar formula of getting pressure with 4. I think that's the way to win in the NFL. And TJ Watt does have 22.5 sacks this season, tied for the all-time record. But Patrick Mahomes has struggled against pressure. He's 27th in the NFL completion percentage when under pressure this season. But here's the thing. He's also the best quarterback in the NFL against the blitz. Their pre-snap identification and adjustments that they make because of the reads they make before the snap is elite, not just from Mahomes, the entire offense, Andy Reid. The last time these two teams played, Mahomes was only blitzed 6 times. You know what he did in those 6 blitzes? He threw for 75 yards. He was 6-6 for 75 yards and 2 touchdowns. So this team needs as much numbers in the secondary as they can possibly get, and they need to get pressure with 4. So that's my only way for the Steelers to stay in this game. But the Chiefs have a great pass protection. They're one of the best pass protecting units in the offensive line in the NFL. And I don't see it. The Steelers can't stop the run. So if the Chiefs are out 14-0, they'll melt this game away by hitting chunk runs of 4, 5, 6, 7 yards. I don't know what else to tell you guys. I can't tell anyone here that I have any faith in the Steelers.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like another thing, you mentioned the run, like a guy like Darrell Williams is a guy I love in OwnersBox this week for our 10K contest. We're doing a super wild card, full weekend thing, Saturday through Monday. So get in if you're trying to play some action this weekend. But I love Darrell Williams this week in the run. I agree with your take there, T-Mac. But one concern for me on the Chiefs side is definitely Tyreek Hill. I know he had that heel. He's had issues with the heel. He's had 3 weeks where he's just not produced at the level he's obviously capable of. So I think he'll be good to go, obviously, but it's one of those things to look out for as you get ready to bet this game or, pick a side in this matchup. I think I'm concerned a bit about that.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing for the Steelers, if I could give them another piece of hope, the Chiefs are one of the worst teams in the NFL against the run, but the Steelers can't run the football. So I think this team, go ahead. This is a dead team walking to me.
Yeah. Spagnuolo loves to dial up the pressure. The only good thing is Big Ben takes no time to get the football out. The ball doesn't go far when he gets it out, but it's the only thing that's going to help him, right? Avoid that pressure.
Yeah, guys, go look at the numbers. There's nothing offensively that can give you hope when it comes to the Steelers. And the only thing they do well is get after the quarterback. And like I said, blitzing Mahomes is one of the best in the NFL. So I'm hammering the Chiefs minus 12.5. And then I really love Kelsey's over in yards, depending on what it is. If it's anything below 85, I'm going to hammer it. If it's below 90, I'm definitely hitting it. They have a terrible run defense on the second level. So I do think that if they're getting gashed in the run game, then Kelsey up the seam is going to eat in this game. He didn't play in the last game they had between each other. So I think they don't really know what to expect as much, especially when they're as bad in the middle of the field as they are with the Steelers. So that's what I'm hitting in this game. Anything else you guys want to mention on that one, or any props?
I was going to ask you total. I like the Kelsey prop. I don't know what it is either, but I'm sure it's in that. I'm sure it's in that 75 to 90 range. I can't see it being much higher than 90. Maybe I'm totally off color there, but I think it's in that range I mentioned. I do like that. Darrell Williams props. I've been hitting those a couple of weeks, probably 2 or 3 last weeks here, and I'm looking for that as well. I like his receiving prop. He catch a lot of passes from Mahomes as Mahomes has been checking it down more. So I'll look for that. And then I'm likely on the Chiefs minus 12.5. No total in this game for me.
Yeah. 46 is the exact total of the last meeting, 36-10. That's how many points they scored. If I had to lean somewhere, it'd be under, just because, like I said, the Chiefs can melt away the clock by running the football, and the Steelers can't really stop the run. So that could just be first down after first down and clock melts away. Anything else, Abe?
No, I haven't looked at any of the props or anything like that. Again, total maybe over for me if I think the Steelers keep it close. Right. That's what I would do. If I like the Steelers, I would take the over.
True. I think, there's definitely correlation between the under in Kansas City and the over in the Steelers, because if they're throwing the ball a lot, which they've been doing all year, then the clock's not moving as much too. So it could be.
I think we get a little bit of Big Ben magic for the last game, just a little bit.
Big Ben, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Is that your prediction?
They're going to be like, maybe you shouldn't retire Ben, but we know he should.
The only magic will be the camera shot of him sitting on the bench, realizing that it's all over, getting that extra TV time.
Yeah, it's probably going to be freezing cold there too, so that'll be nice.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Like Sandy said, go check out the OwnersBox Super Wild Card Weekend contest. We've got anything from just Saturday only, right? Just Sunday only, and then all weekend as well. So if you use promo code Drew9, you're going to get a $10 free entry into one of those contests. $10,000 grand prize in our weekend long contest. So go check that out on OwnersBox. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you for our NFC preview. And we're just going to make a ton of money this week, fellas. Ton of money. And don't forget, Georgia Bulldogs. Dogs were barking on Monday.
Sandy, that was horrendous. It would have been nice for you to be on our side, Sandy.
I know. I only man on man out of the whole house. I was in a house full of Georgia Bulldogs last night, so I already heard it, boys. So
thank you. See you guys.